The question sounds simple until you start looking for the answer, because the federal government does not operate a single oil program. Two parallel systems run simultaneously, designed around completely different vehicles, completely different operating conditions, and completely different priorities. And the gap between them tells you more about motor oil science than most comparison reviews will. Start with the civilian side. The General Services Administration manages the federal vehicle fleet, which includes everything from the Department of Justice pursuit vehicles to postal trucks to executive agency sedans. These vehicles run on roads, follow manufacturer service intervals, and use the same commercially available oils that any private fleet manager would order from a supplier. Contracts go out through competitive bidding, and the winning products must meet American Petroleum Institute certification for the relevant service category. The General Services Administration is not developing a proprietary lubrication standard for fleet Chevrolets. It purchases certified commercial product at volume pricing, and the oil in a federal motor pool pickup is not meaningfully different from what that same truck would take at a dealership. The military side operates on a completely different basis. Combat and tactical vehicles face conditions with no equivalent in civilian life, and the military recognized early on that American Petroleum Institute standards, developed primarily around fuel economy, emissions compliance, and passenger car service life, do not capture what a vehicle needs to survive in a combat theater. Military Specification 2104 was developed to address that gap. It is an independent performance standard maintained by the Department of Defense, governing engine oil used in tactical wheeled and tracked vehicles, including Humvees and Bradley fighting vehicles across the services. Qualifying for American Petroleum Institute certification does not satisfy Military Specification 2104. The oil has to clear a separate and more demanding set of tests built around what military vehicles actually encounter. The standard goes beyond American borders. Because the United States operates alongside international allies, Military Specification 2104 ties directly into an international classification system known as the NATO code. A combat vehicle refueling in a joint theater does not search for brand names or regional certifications. Logistics officers locate a specific alphanumeric designation stamped on the barrel like 0237 or 01236. That simple code guarantees that whether an oil was manufactured in Texas or Western Europe, its chemical composition will mix without separation, protect a variable geometry turbocharger under load, and survive the same tactical cold start requirements. It reduces the entire science of lubrication down to a single cross-border identifier. 3 requirements separate Military Specification 2104 from anything in the civilian American Petroleum Institute tier. The first is extreme cold performance. Tactical vehicles deploy across environments ranging from the Arctic to the desert, and the oil must reliably pump and protect at temperatures that would leave a standard commercial oil too sluggish to reach the upper valve train. Corrosion resistance under extended storage is the second requirement. Equipment that sits inactive for long stretches and then goes into immediate high-demand operation creates a corrosion exposure window that civilian oil standards do not address. Last is the requirement most civilian buyers would not anticipate: compatibility with JP-8 jet fuel. Running tactical ground vehicles on JP-8, the same fuel used in military aircraft, eliminates the need for a separate ground fuel supply chain in a combat theater. JP-8 dilutes engine oil differently than diesel fuel does, and any qualifying oil must tolerate that contamination without viscosity collapse or accelerated breakdown. Full synthetic formulations became the standard path to meeting those requirements. Polyalpha-olefin base stocks, the same Group 4 chemistry used in premium civilian synthetics, deliver the cold flow performance the specification demands without sacrificing film strength under sustained heat. Several major commercial lubricant suppliers have qualified products under Military Specification 2104. And some of those formulations, or close derivatives, later appeared in civilian product lines. Engineering work done to satisfy military cold start and fuel contamination requirements contributed to advances that eventually reached the commercial synthetic oils sold at retail. That path runs from government specification to consumer shelf, not the other way around. What the government does not have is a classified formula the public cannot access. The civilian fleet takes standard certified product. Military contracts go to commercial suppliers who develop and sell qualifying synthetic formulations through the Department of Defense procurement system. No secret oil sits locked away in a government document. What shifted over recent decades is how the Department of Defense writes its requirements. Moving from prescriptive military specifications to performance-based military performance requirements means commercial suppliers can now submit products already on retail shelves, provided those products clear the testing parameters. Shell Rotella and Mobile Delvac formulations have done exactly that. The military pushed lubrication chemistry so hard for so long that today's best commercial heavy-duty synthetics can walk into the qualification process and pass without being specially developed for the government at all. That is the actual conclusion. The most demanding customer in the industry eventually made the civilian product good enough to serve both markets.